Hello everyone. Now we're going to do the last topic of the unit. We have been doing system of equations using elimination for the past 3 days. Now this is the fourth day and we're gonna add an extra step. First, we started when I gave you a variable ready to be eliminated, okay? Then this next time we're supposed to subtract, okay, one of the equations to eliminate a variable. Yesterday, the last lesson, we actually multiply one of the equations by a number that will make one of the variables cancel out. Now we have to multiply both equations, okay, so we can have common coefficients, okay, for a specific variable. What I mean is we're going to multiply the top equation and the bottom equation until we get either one of the variables with the same coefficient and different signs. Okay, so let me just do the overview now in Spanish. Ok, niños, esta es la última lección de la unidad. Hemos estado haciendo sistemas de ecuaciones usando eliminación 3 días. Este es el cuarto día. En el primer día, la primera lección, yo les di las ecuaciones listas para cancelar una de las dos variables, ok. Y luego el siguiente día les enseñé cuando teníamos que restar o cambiar el signo de todos los elementos de una ecuación, ok, para poder cancelar una de las variables. Y la última, el día 3, fue cuando multiplicábamos una de las dos ecuaciones por un número y el signo apropiado, si es necesario, para poder eliminar una variable. Hoy vamos a multiplicar las dos ecuaciones, ¿ok? Por números o valores que hagan que la variable tengan el mismo coeficiente, igual signos diferentes, ¿ok? Eso es lo más importante, signos diferentes. So, aquí están todos los pasos que les acabo de explicar ahora en inglés, pero ustedes más o menos saben, ya se los dije en español. So, ahora voy a hacer la introducción en inglés, alright guys? So look guys, okay. So this is the problem we have today. This is an example that I did for you so you can use it as a reference when you do your homework, alright? If you notice in this system of equations, okay, the y's have different signs, okay? But it is impossible to convert 3 to 4. There is not a number that multiplying times 3 will give you 4, okay? So we have to do the following steps, okay? But before that, also, if you notice with the x's, all right, the x's have also equal signs, but there is no way that you can multiply 2 by a number and get 3, all right? So in this case, you can pick either one. You can eliminate the x's if you want, or you can eliminate the ones. But my suggestion is always eliminate the one that has already different signs, okay? Because if you're gonna eliminate the y's, you have to multiply just by the numbers. But if you have to eliminate the x, you have to multiply by the numbers, and you have to make sure that one of those numbers that are going to be distributed has a negative sign, okay? One positive and one negative. So one of these two will turn into a negative. Now let me spell this in Spanish. Ok, muchachos, si ustedes se dan cuenta en esta ecuación, la y ya tiene signos distintos. Por lo tanto, se me haría más fácil eliminar la y. Lo único es que no hay ningún número que multiplicado por 3 me dé 4. Entonces tengo que usar otro método. Ok, ya les voy a explicar cuál es. Ahora, las x tampoco, aunque las x tienen signos iguales, los dos positivos, pero tampoco pueden multiplicar 2 por un número que les dé 3. Es imposible. Entonces en este caso tendrás que multiplicar las dos ecuaciones por un valor específico y hacer una de las dos negativas, ¿ok? En cambio aquí, si yo elimino esta, solo me voy a preocupar por el número, ¿okay? No por el signo, porque tienen signos diferentes. So let me go back to English. Okay, which is look. So what I did here is I picked to eliminate the y's. Why? Because the only thing I have to do is multiply this equation times 3 and multiply this equation times 4 so I can get 12. If you think about it, 4 times 3 is 12, right? So 12 is going to be my common coefficient. okay? So if I multiply this times 4, I will get 12. If I multiply this times 3, I will get 12. So this is what I'm going to do on my next step. Let me just spread it to the kids in Spanish. Ok, muchachos, yo decidí eliminar las y, ok, porque lo único que tengo que hacer es multiplicar esta ecuación de arriba por 3 y multiplicar esta de abajo por 4, de manera que 4 por 3 me dé 12, ok. So, entonces, cuando convierta 12 y 12, ya puedo eliminar las y. Ahora, si quiero eliminar las x, tendré que multiplicar la de arriba por 2, la de abajo por 3 y hacer 1 negativo, ok. Pero váyanse siempre con los que tengan signos diferentes. Ese es el primer paso. Okay, guys, I just forgot to tell you also that if you want to eliminate the x's, you have to multiply this times 3 and this times 2 and make sure one of the two numbers is negative, all right? But let's continue. Let's work with the y's because the y is the one that I picked because it has different signs. So what I'm going to do is all this equation, I'm going to multiply times 4. In all this equation, I'm going to multiply times, in all this one times 3. And it's what I did right there, okay? I just wrote it. So you can see, okay, so you can see what I did. So what I did is, you don't have to do that. When I do my example, we're gonna skip that step. So what I did is, in order for me to get 12, I multiplied the first one times 3, because when I multiply 3 times 4, that's gonna give me 12. And on the bottom, I multiply it times 4, so when I multiply 4 times negative 3, will give me negative 12, then I can cancel my y's, okay? Niños, entonces la de arriba la multipliqué por 3, para cuando yo distribuya y multiplique 3 por 4, me dé positivo 12y. Y cuando multiplique 4 por negativo 3, me dé negativo 12y. Entonces puedo eliminar las y, okay? So, that's what's coming up now. So if you notice here, when I distribute, I got 9x plus 12y minus 75, okay? On the bottom, I get 4 times 2, 8x. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12y, and 4 times 6 is 24. So now I have my y's with the same coefficient and different signs, so I can eliminate. Niños, cuando distribuí, me quedó el 12 igual, los mismos, la y con el 12, uno positivo y uno negativo, entonces los puedo cancelar, y por eso me queda las x. Como los dos son positivos, los sumo, me da 17x, ok, y luego resto esto y me da negativo 51, y cuando divido entre 17 me da negativo 3. So once I solve for this guy, when I solve for x, my answer is x negative 3. Now I use the first equation, okay, and I substitute this x times negative 3 to find y. It is right there, okay. I copy the equation, I substitute x for negative 3, and when I solve, I got negative 4. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Bring down the 4y equals negative 25. Plus 9 plus 9, that will give me 4y equals negative 16. And when I divide by 4, y is negative 4. So muchachos, lo que hice es que usé la primera ecuación, reemplacé la x por el negativo 3, ok, y me da negativo 9. Bajo el 4y igual a negativo 25. Luego tengo esposa y amante, más 9 más 9. Me queda 4y igual a negativo 16. Y dividido entre 4, y me queda negativo 4. So the solution is negative 4, negative 3. Guys, remember, so your homework, you have to do 2 steps. You have to multiply both equations, the top and the bottom. Ok, niños, en la tarea tienen que multiplicar 2 veces las 2 ecuaciones, ok? So let's do the first one. Okay. Look here, guys, okay? You have 2x plus 8y equals 6, negative 5x minus 20y equals negative 15. The first thing that I told you guys, okay, pick the variables that has different signs. Lo primero que les dije que escoja la variable que tenga signos diferentes, signos opuestos. En este caso, las x y las y, los dos tienen signos opuestos. So in this case, guys, either the x and the y, they both have positive and negative, positive and negative. So here, my second recommendation is to pick the variable with the smallest number. Ok, so mi sugerencia aquí, muchachos, que escojan la variable que tenga los coeficientes más pequeños. Ok, so in this case, the x's have smallest coefficients, 2 and negative 5, and y has 8 and negative 20. You can use this one too, but remember, guys, if you do that, the number is going to be bigger, and the bigger the number, the more prone to make a mistake you are. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to eliminate the x's. Now remember, There is no number that multiplied times 2 will give me 5. No way, José. No hay ningún número que multiplicado por 2 me dé 5. So, tengo que hacer lo que hicimos en el ejemplo. So, I have to do what I did on the example. Multiply both equations. But I'm going to multiply this one times 5, okay? And this one times 2. And I don't have to worry about the sign because they already have different signs, okay? I just need to have the same coefficient. No me tengo que preocupar mucho por los signos porque ya los signos son diferentes. So lo que tengo que asegurarme es que tenga el mismo coeficiente. So vamos a distribuir. So when we distribute, we will get 10x plus 40y equals 30. Remember, when we distribute, we're multiplying, okay? Cuando distribuimos, estamos multiplicando, muchachos. So let's distribute the bottom. 2 times negative 5 is going to give you negative 10x. So you can see that we're going to cancel my x because they're different. 2 times negative 20 is going to give you negative 40. Oh, this is going to be something really, really awkward. Equals negative 30. Okay. So look what happened, guys. You're gonna cancel this out, and you're gonna cancel that out. So that means that 0 equals 0. That means that that system has infinite solutions. I didn't expect this to happen. I really didn't. Because at the end, both variables cancel out. What do you have at the end? 0 equals 0. And that's true. That means that the system has infinite solutions. Okay? I really wasn't looking forward to do a problem like that because I just picked them from one of the worksheets that I had, and because I didn't have the answer, I didn't know that was going to happen. But okay, I guess we got to see something different. Although we saw this when we did when we were solving equations, and I told you if the variable disappear and whatever it ends up is a true statement, there should be infinite solution. If it would be like false statement, there would be no solutions at all. Okay, but that's the idea, guys. You have to make sure you have to multiply, right, by the opposite numbers. So let's do the second one. Maybe we have better luck now. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Here, you could have picked either one, okay, because they both have different signs. But look at this one. The x's has same signs, okay, but the y's have different signs. So to me, even though these numbers are bigger, I will eliminate the y's, so I don't have to worry about the sign, okay? Let me refer this in Spanish. Ok, muchachos, aquí en la de arriba, tanto las x como las y tenían signos diferentes. So simplemente multipliqué por los números porque ya los signos están correctos, ¿no? Ahora aquí, las x tienen los dos negativos y las y tienen signos opuestos. Aunque yo pueda eliminar cualquiera de las que yo quiera, yo voy a eliminar las y. ¿Por qué? Porque ya tienen signos diferentes. ¿Ok? So, en este caso, right, como tienen signos diferentes, I'm going to multiply this times 9 and this one times 8. Remember, because if you multiply 9 times 8, it's 72. So that means that this equation, to convert it to 72, you have to multiply this times 9 and this one times 8. Just like flip the numbers, okay? So remember, in this case, we don't have to worry about the signs. Now, if I want to eliminate the x's, then I will multiply this times 4 and this times 7. And I have to make sure one of the variable will be negative, all right? But that's what I always recommend you guys to use this one, okay? So let's just distribute. If you distribute, you're gonna get negative 63x, all right, minus 72y equals 81. And on the bottom, you're gonna get negative 32x plus 72y equals I think that's 176 if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me do that. 22 times 8, yes, it's negative 176. Okay, 8 times negative 22 is negative 176. Now I eliminate my y, right? And I will have negative 95x. And when I subtract this, I also get negative 95. Because 81 minus 76, okay? Because 81 or 85, yeah. 81 minus 176, you get negative 95, all right? Now, we divide by negative 95 both sides. X equals positive 1. Now, what I will do now, we're going to take one of the two original equations, okay? So I'm going to take either one. Let me take the bottom one. Let me write negative 4x plus 9y equals negative 22. I use this one. You can use the top one, it doesn't matter. You're supposed to get the same answer. So this x becomes what now? Positive 1. So negative 4 times 1 plus 9y equals negative 22. That equals negative 4 plus 9y equals negative 2. You can see my hands, guys, sweating, all right? Plus 4, because it's hot today. That's 9y equals negative 18. If I divide by 9, y equals negative 2. So your solution should be 1 comma negative 2. All right? So everything else is the same. When you find one variable, you use that value into one of the original equations to find the second variable. Ok, muchachos, una vez que ustedes encuentran una variable, reemplazan en cualquiera de las dos ecuaciones originales para encontrar la otra variable. Okay, so let's just review. Here, okay, I give you already the y's with different signs. So that's why I decided to eliminate the y's. Here, I give you also the y's with different signs. So I decided to eliminate the y's. So let's see what happens now with number 3. Okay. With number 3, what's happening? Oh, good one. With number 3, if you notice, the x, they both have positive signs, and the y's, they both also have positive signs, all right? So here we have to make sure when we distribute to make one of the numbers negative. So here it's all up to you. You can pick either the x's or the y because they both have same signs. Ok, muchachos, en este se dan cuenta, tanto las x como las y tienen el mismo signo. Por lo tanto, pueden escoger cualquiera de las dos, las x o las y. Lo único es que tienen que asegurarse que uno de los dos números que multipliquen sea negativo. Okay? So guys, let's eliminate the x's, right? So if I eliminate the x's, I'm going to multiply this times 3, okay? And I'm going to multiply this times 5, all right? Remember, use opposite. Now, because they both have the same signs, I'm going to make sure one of these two becomes negative. And you can pick either one. I'm going to pick negative. I'm going to make the 3 negative. You could have made the 5 and you're still going to get the same answer. Remember, only one, not both. Ok, muchachos, cuando multiplicamos por los números, ok, como aquí tienen signos iguales, no como los anteriores, que no tienen que por el signo, entonces aquí tengo que asegurarme que uno de los dos números sea negativo. Entonces voy a hacer el 3 negativo y el 5 positivo. O pudimos haber hecho el 5 negativo y el 3 positivo. No importa, uno de los dos, siempre y cuando la variable tenga el mismo signo. Si son signos diferentes, solo multipliquen por los números y olvídense del signo. So let's distribute, guys. So we distribute here, we will get negative 15x, right? Minus 12y plus 42, okay? 3 times 5 is 15, minus times plus is a minus. Negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12y. Negative 3 times negative 14 is positive 42. So the other one, let's multiply times 5. 5 times 3 is 15x, bingo. You see now they were the same sign, now they're different, so I can cancel. And they have the same coefficient. 3 times 6 is 18 plus 16y. is 5 times 6. It's the heat. The heat is killing me. So 5 times 6 is 30y, and 5 times 6 here is also 30. So now, because I'm canceling the excess, I will have 18y equals 72. And if I divide by 18, y equals 4. Now remember, guys, you could have eliminated the y's, but if that would have been the case, you would multiply this times 6 and this times 4, and you have to make sure one of the two numbers, okay, was negative, right? So let's continue. So let me pick the bottom one. 3x plus 6y equals 6. Okay. So now 3x plus 6. Now y becomes 4. Okay. 3 times x plus 24 equals 6. Right. Minus 24 minus 24. That will give you 3x equals negative 18, because 6 minus 24 is negative 18. If I divide by 3, x equals negative 6. So my solution is negative 6, comma 4. Now the last one, number 4. Remember, guys, remember what I say. Look for the variable that has different signs. If you notice here, the y's have different signs. So I will choose that one because I don't have to worry about the signs. So niños, recuérdense lo que les dije. Siempre miren cuál variable tiene signos diferentes, ¿ok? En este caso las y tienen signos diferentes, entonces voy a eliminar las y. Porque no tengo que prepararme por el signo, ¿ok? Solamente me preocupo por el signo cuando todas tienen el mismo signo, ¿ok? Como aquí, que los dos son positivos, los dos son positivos. O que si aquí el 10 hubiera sido negativo, entonces era multiplicado por cualquiera de los dos y hacer uno negativo. All right? So guys, look, if that would have been negative 10y instead of positive 10y, then you would have picked one of the two variables. You would have picked the one you want to eliminate, and you have to multiply by the numbers and make sure one of the numbers is negative. But here, we don't have to worry about it because they already have negative signs. So, I mean, opposite signs. So I'm going to multiply this times 10, right? And I'm going to multiply this times 6, okay? Because I'm eliminating the y. Now, if someone wants to eliminate the excess, you have to multiply this times 7 and that times 2 and make sure either the 7 or the 2 becomes negative. Si ustedes quieren eliminar las x, muchachos, tienen que multiplicar el de arriba por 2, el de abajo por 7 y asegurarse que el 2 o el 7, uno de los dos sea negativo, all right? So because I'm concentrating on the y's because the y's have already different signs. So when I distribute, I get negative 70x minus 60y equals negative 140. Here I get negative 12x plus 60y minus 24. So I can eliminate my y's, and I will have negative 82x equals negative 164. And if I divide by negative 82, x becomes positive 2. Now let's look for y. Let's use the top one. 7x minus 6y equals negative 14. So this x becomes what? Becomes 2. 7 parentheses 2 minus 6y equals negative 14. That becomes 14 minus 6y equals negative 14. So I'm sorry. Is it 2? Oh, that was negative. I knew there was something wrong here, so it's negative. That becomes negative. So it was negative 7x minus 6y equals negative 14. So negative 7x times 2 is negative 14. So I'm going to do plus 14, and that becomes negative 6y equals 0. And if I divide by negative 6, y equals 0. So the solution here should be 2, 0. Okay, just remember, in the homework, guys, you have to multiply both equations by a number. I think that I give you two problems when you already have different signs. So you only have to multiply by the numbers. And I think I give you one where you have to multiply by the numbers and you have to make one of the two numbers negative, right? Ok, niños, en las tareas son tres problemas. Yo creo que les doy dos donde las variables ya están listas para eliminarse. O sea, donde las variables ya están con signos diferentes, eso solo tienen que multiplicar por los números. Y una donde los signos son iguales para ambas variables, solo tienen que multiplicar por los números, ok, opuestos, y uno tiene que ser negativo, uno de los dos. So, con esto terminamos sistema de ecuaciones y mañana empezamos con otro tema, ok. Pasen buen día y cuídense de este calor, por favor, tomen mucha agua porque está demasiado caliente afuera.